Postures. Zazen postures illustrated. The postures illustrated in the following pages range across history from the classic lotus pose of antiquity to a special 20th century zazen bench. Although Zen masters ancient and contemporary are united in proclaiming the superiority of the lotus posture over all others, for reasons which will be found in the first section of this book. The editor can testify from his own experience with each of these positions that any of them can be adequate for one sufficiently determined to pursue zazen. The practice of sitting with the foot of each leg over the thigh of the other is one of the oldest, predating the Buddha. Not only do we know through archaeological evidence in India that millenniums before the birth of the Buddha the lotus posture was in use in that country, but wall carvings unearthed from ancient Egyptian tombs, showing figures sitting in the full lotus, prove that civilizations other than the Indian knew the power of this unique pose. Admittedly, for Westerners, not nurtured on cross-legged sitting, the lotus posture can be difficult, but by no means is it impossible. Adult non-athletic Westerners have mastered the half lotus in less than 6 months by persistent zazen coupled with simple leg stretching exercises, which include pressing down of the knees with the hands after a hot bath, to gradually bring the knees down to the level of the sitting mat. The full lotus is naturally a harder nut to crack, but it no less will yield to a systematic effort. Fig. 1 Full lotus posture, with right foot over left thigh and left foot over right thigh, both knees touching mat. Knees should be in line with one another, the abdomen relaxed and slightly protruded. Hands rest on the heels of both feet, with thumbs touching lightly to make an oval. This posture may be reversed when the left foot gets tired. Fig. 2 Full lotus posture, side view, showing ears in line with shoulders, and tip of nose in line with navel. The chin should be slightly drawn in. The buttocks are thrust out, with the spine erect. A single low cushion is preferable in this posture. Fig. 3 The half lotus posture, with left foot over right thigh and right foot under left thigh, both knees touching mat. To facilitate the knees resting on the mat, it may be necessary to use a support cushion under the regular round one. Fig. 4 The quarter lotus, with the left foot resting over the calf of the right, both knees resting on the mat. Note: in all postures, including that involving bench and chair, the buttocks are thrust out, the chin tucked in, and the spine held erect. The hands are kept close to the body, resting high up on the thighs or on the heels of the feet, the knees are in line with each other, and the abdomen is relaxed and slightly protruded. The posture shown in Fig. 5 is widely used in Burma and the Southeast Asian Buddhist countries. It has the advantage of being much less uncomfortable for beginners than either the half or the full lotus, as the legs are uncrossed, but it does not provide the strong support for the trunk that the lotus posture does. The spine, therefore, cannot be kept absolutely erect for long without strain. The traditional Japanese sitting posture, Fig. 6, can be made comfortable for Westerners by the insertion of a cushion between the buttocks and the heels. A low bench of the type shown in Fig. 7 when placed between the buttocks and the heels renders this posture even more comfortable, since it eliminates every bit of pressure from the heels. For the novice, an absolutely straight back is easiest in this position. An ordinary chair when sat in the usual way, that is, with the back bent, is not satisfactory for zazen. But if used as shown in Fig. 8, with a cushion beneath the buttocks to help keep the spine erect, and with one's feet planted firmly on the floor, it can be effective. B. Questions and answers. The back. Question. During zazen I get a weak, aching feeling in the lower part of my back. What is the reason for this? Answer. This is not an uncommon problem for beginners. Usually, it occurs during or after zazen because your back muscles are not strong enough to support the erect back for any length of time. The same thing may result from trying to sit with ramrod erectness. Leaning forward slightly, without rounding the back, will often eliminate the difficulty by removing the pressure from the muscles of the lower back, allowing the weight of the trunk to be supported by the hips. Fig. 5 The so-called Burmese posture, with the legs uncrossed, the left or right foot in front and both knees touching mat. Here, too, a higher sitting base may be necessary so that both knees rest squarely on the mat. Fig. 6. Side view of the traditional Japanese sitting posture with knees in line with one another on the mat and straddling a husk cushion inserted between the heels and buttocks to relieve pressure on heels. The hands may rest on the front of the husk cushion. For extra height, the husk cushion may be placed on top of a round cushion. Fig. 7. Side view of zazen performed on a low wooden bench with a padded seat. To prevent the hands from slipping down, a support cushion may be placed vertically on the mat under the hands. Fig. 8. Side view of zazen in a straight back chair, with cushion under buttocks and the feet resting firmly on the floor the width of the shoulders apart. Fig. 9. Side view of mat, round cushion and support cushion in position for zazen. Round cushions measure anywhere from 12 to 18 inches in diameter and from 3 to 6 in thickness. The best filler for cushions is kapok, which fluffs out when put in the sun. Foam rubber tends to bounce. Cotton batting is good for mats. The best mat is not more than 2 inches thick, measures from 30 to 36 inches square, and has neither cording nor upholstery buttons. Support cushions measure about 17 by 12 inches and 2.5 inches thick. The round cushion has a handle for carrying, and pleats to provide give. Fig. 10. Husk cushions and low zazen bench. Husk cushions can be filled with buckwheat husks, rice husks, or any other husk which is not too hard and at the same time provides firmness. The bench measures about 19.5 inches by 7 inches and is 8 inches high in the rear, 6 inches in front. The seat is upholstered for greater comfort. Sometimes the pain in the lower back may be the result of sitting on a cushion that is too high or too hard. Experiment with your cushions. Try using them in different ways until you find the height right for you. You also need to strengthen your lower back through stretching exercises and sports. Here are 2 good stretching exercises. Standing erect, slowly bend over from the base of the spine, without rounding the back or bending your knees, as you try to touch the floor with the palms of your hands. Bend over only as far as you can comfortably. Gradually you will find yourself going lower and lower until your hands touch the floor. Next, sit on the floor with both legs extended. Bending from the base of the spine, try to touch your toes, keeping the knees firmly on the floor. To acquire and maintain a healthy back condition, one must also learn to sit and carry oneself properly throughout the day. When you sit down, first thrust your buttocks toward the back of the chair or couch and then come up from the base of the spine. In this way it is easy to sit erect, since the weight rests squarely on the hips and thrust out buttocks, preventing strain in the lower back. Above all, don't fall into a chair back first, as though you were a sack of flour. And make it a point to walk erectly at all times with your center of gravity in the lower abdomen, not in the area of the shoulders. Remember, one of the things that distinguishes human beings from animals is their unique ability to keep the back erect. The innate dignity and nobility of a human being is revealed in a straight back. Breathing. Question 1. In zazen, does one breathe from the chest or stomach? When you inhale, does the stomach go in or out? Answer 1. In Zen, breathing is from the lower abdomen, not the chest. When you inhale, normally the lower abdomen fills up, becoming slightly convex, and when you exhale it becomes concave. Question 2. My practice is following the breath. I have read that pushing one's breath into the hara makes one's zazen more effective, but when I try to do this, a pain begins to develop in the chest area. Am I doing anything wrong? What can I do to stop it? Answer 2. In the beginning of one's practice there is apt to be a great deal of self-conscious effort which, when persisted in, creates a pain somewhere in the body. Most people are normally shallow breathers, their exhaled breath terminating in the chest area. You need to learn how to relax the diaphragm and to breathe from the lower abdomen, not the chest. But if you try to force your breath down lower, it becomes dammed up and does not descend naturally. into the abdomen. The result is pain either in the region of your belly, the lower back, or both. As a way of getting beyond this self-conscious effort and bringing your center of gravity down to the lower abdomen so that the breathing is abdominal. Imagine that your nostrils are about 2 inches below the navel. Allow your breath to flow gently into the upper left palm of your folded hands. I assume you are holding your hands in the traditional zazen mudra and that they are resting on your heels in the region below the navel. Or,